I suppose all of you have been wondering, when are we going to get an airport? Well, today is your lucky day. We're going to be building it on the side of this little island right here. This island, it pretty much is nothing. No one actually lives there. It's just a few shops. I was just playing around, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to build it on the side of this island, and it's pretty much just going to be an airport island. And this is going to be a two-part video building the whole airport. This first one is just going to be about putting it down, working out what to do. Next one is going to be more about the roads. So let's get into it. We're going to be using the new one from the newest DLC, whatever it was, Harbor, that one. And I mean, that's pretty in keeping. Like, we're putting it in a harbor area with lots of other fishing boats that come from that pack as well. So I put it down just to kind of see the sizes, work it out. Does it look good? Yes, I know those boats are pretty close, but we'll change that eventually. So we're putting the water right down because I wanted to put in the airport so I can check out the sizes and start to put in the terrain, because oh my god, could you imagine if I was changing the terrain while the water was still there? Oh, tsunamis, like 100,000 dead, like because if there's just the slight little increase in waves in this map, like oof, we're going to be wiping out some people. They're all going to be gone because everyone is right on the water. But anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen. So that's why I put the water right down so we don't have to worry about it. The only thing is we've got to put it up and get it right at the same level. Otherwise, everything's going to be out of whack. We're just deleting the ship line a little bit. We're going to move it out, but I can't actually do it yet because I don't know why. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to draw it now, but we got no water. Duh. That's not going to work. So we'll come back to that. We'll draw that out, make sure it's like a sensible distance away from the airport. Okay, so we've put it back in. You can see the people over there, they're happy, they're smiling. I'm just kind of checking it out at this point because I haven't really had a good look at this airport, but I quite like it. I like that we have the crisscross plane, the takeoff areas. And what I'm doing here, I'm cutting out the land because I don't want it to just be like one big blob. I want it to look quite artificial. I want it to look like the airport is really sticking out of the land. And this is one of the first of many land reclamation projects. And I was like, it's all looking good until I saw it goes down in a little ditch right there. So I'm like, oh no, have to delete it again and flatten it all out. But then I put it down like, oh yeah, looking good. Oh, no, what's this? Oh, we got another little uneven bit of terrain. So again, delete it and then we'll have to flatten it out and then put it in again. But that's all right because it needs to be the perfect height. I don't want to build it all and then notice that something is a little bit off. So we need to make sure now before we do anything else that it's all the same level. And I think at this point, it pretty much is. So we start to put the water back. I just put it right up because I'm like, oh yeah, let's just do it. Let's just get right into it. But you know what? That's not a good idea because now we're flooding everywhere. So not so lucky. Like literally the whole thing is flooding. So that's no good. So let's put the water back down again. Still the airport's flooding, so that's fantastic. But at this point, I'm like, okay, we'll start to put it up little by little. So then there's no tsunamis anyway, because I didn't even look around the rest of the map. Like, I don't know, like was the rest of the map flooding or I just didn't look. I was like, yeah, they can do whatever they can. If they're flooding, they can deal with it on their own because we're focusing on the airport at the moment. But I think by this point, everything is all right. But then, no. There's a glitch and I'm like, why isn't this water funneling out? It's like it's stuck in there. There's some big invisible barrier. Like, of course we got the rest perfect, but then that one's not working. So I just move it around a little bit, hoping the water will kind of gush out, but even that didn't do it. So like, I don't know, there must be just some weird little glitch. So I had to delete the airport for like the, what's that, like the 7th time, and then put it back in. And by that point, everything was, all the water was cleared out and we were ready to start building more around the airport. All right, looking good over here. Everything is pretty flat. So yes, we are ready to start doing a little bit more. So we're going to put in the ship route. I'm not too concerned where or how close it is, but I know you guys are going to say something about it. But if you look at the airport, like they pretty much take off before like the runway is even halfway. Like the planes are in the air by halfway down the runway, so it doesn't really matter. They're not gonna oh my god, I'm just thinking you guys should see how it lands. It is so silly. You guys will see it at the end. I don't know, it's just there must be something wrong with how I put down the flight path, because it's just so silly how it comes in, and I would not want to be on that plane when it's coming in. Oof, no thank you. Anyway, we're putting in the seawall. I like this one because it has kind of like 2 levels, which I think is quite realistic. It has like the actual the actual seawall, and then above that is kind of like a pebble area, which I think looks really, really nice. And I didn't want to do just one hard wall because, I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't suit the whole look. So I think having these 2 levels adds a little bit more depth. And you can see I'm having a bit of trouble here trying to get that, but eventually we got it. And I always make sure that there's a lot of extra land beyond where the planes land and take off, because I think that's kind of what they do on the airports. There's like an extra little gap at the end. They have like the little lights and things sticking out, so that's kind of what I was going for there. And I do that on all of the areas where they will come in, but I think this one here, I don't think they actually land on that one. They pretty much just use the one that's going there from left to right. So, and I didn't want them to use that other one because it kind of heads more towards that little what's it called, Basra Island, which I didn't really want to interrupt too much. Okay, so we're putting in where our planes will come into the map. I actually didn't realize, for some reason it wasn't showing, there's an existing plane line on there, and I did not even realize that it was there and it wasn't showing. And so here is another one as well, but there is another one to the left of the map. I'm not too concerned about, you know, the airspaces for each country. That's not really a bother to me, just as long as we actually have planes coming in, that's all that matters. And then just to finish up the runway area, I'm adding in a few little, I guess you would call them just like little dirt tracks, just to make it look a little bit more lively, to add in a little bit more depth to the airport. And I guess my thinking was that this would be areas where like little cars or something, maintenance people, they could go along these pathways to check out things, and I just think it looks good like that. And I think they do have those in the airports normally as well. For this part here, I just wanted to add in a little bit of a natural barrier between where the cars will come in and where the actual airport is. So instead of doing like some kind of awkward fence and I don't know, just something with land, I just wanted to break it up a little bit more with the water, because I think that's a little bit more natural, and it actually just looks nicer that way, in my opinion. This part here is where it gets a little bit more technical, because we have to manage where the cars come in, buses come in. So we're going to do an elevated area. There's going to be a lot of this is going to be in the next episode, but we're just getting it started here. There's going to be a tunnel here where cars can come right into the airport for like a drop-off zone. And then this elevated part here, I do want to put in a bus stop or several bus stops here. And then we're also going to do an elevated pathway that goes from the bus stop and goes over all of the roads, over the parking lots, and goes directly to the entrance of the airport. And by doing that, a lot of the people can just walk there, and they're not going to be hassled by if there's any cars coming, and they don't have to really watch out for them. Over here, we got some parking lots. This is the only 2 elevated parking spaces that we're going to do. I thought why don't we utilize this space here, like on top of the actual airport? I don't know if that's realistic or not to put parking spaces on top, but since we are limited for space, I think it does look realistic. If we had like an open plain area, then of course we wouldn't need to utilize the space like this. But since we are on an island, we don't have much space, I thought why not? And I do add in a little hidden hidden road in there, so cars will actually use that. Over here, we're also just going to put down a basic ground parking lot. And pretty much that is all for parking, and then maybe just a few other little bits and pieces here just to fill in the spaces. But these are going to be this is the main parking area, so we'll have to do some kind of road that goes directly into this parking area. We have to do another road that goes directly into the entrance area of the airport, and then also another main road that is for the buses. And pretty much I think that is it, unless we want to do some other type of public transport. But I was thinking we might just do buses because we don't really have too many buses in here. We already have a big tram system, and I know that we could probably put a tram over in here, but I kind of just want to do something that's a little bit different. So I think we'll probably just go with buses, but we'll see how we go. And I'll see what you guys say down below as some feedback. So the plan for the next episode and for part 2 of building the airport is to build like a main road, mini highway that goes from the airport over to the mainland over there. And the question is, do we just do one big long tunnel? Do we do an elevated road that goes over the bay area? I don't know. So I want to hear back from you guys what I should do in terms of connecting it. And then here comes the plane. Did you see that? Oh my god. But yeah, just give me some feedback in terms of how to connect it, and that will be muchly appreciated. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode, but I'm glad to see that there is a plane coming in, because sometimes the planes don't want to come in. But anyway, catch you guys next time.